In this video, we will be comparing and swatching popular makeup products and their affordable alternatives so you can get the look that you want without breaking the bank. So go ahead and sit back and relax and let's find some amazing makeup dupes. Alright, so the first product is primer. So I love this Milk Hydro Grip Primer. It's really moisturizing, it's really hydrating. It literally helps to grip your makeup so that your makeup stays in place and doesn't move around. So I love that it does a good job, but it is quite a pricey primer and it runs out pretty fast. So a really good dupe for this apparently is the Hard Candy Hydrating Grip Primer. I actually haven't tried this primer out. This will be the first time me trying out this primer, but this one is much more affordable. It claims to be a gripping primer and it's hydrating. I would say it's very similar to the Milk Hydro Grip. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the Milk Hydro Grip, and I'm applying all the high-end products on this side of my face. This primer is great for all skin types, which is why I love it, and I love that it's oil-free as well. So it really helps to hold up on your skin a lot longer than other primers that contain oils. So on this side, I'm gonna go in with the Hard Candy Makeup Gripping Primer. So it seems like this one has the same consistency as the Milk Hydro Grip, but this primer seems to be more lightweight. It's not as sticky, which I prefer less sticky primers. I love that about this primer already, and I can feel like it's very hydrating on my skin. So I would say it's almost a dupe to the Milk Hydro Grip. The primer is way more affordable. If you can get the job done, then definitely I would say go for this primer instead, because it's more affordable, so you can definitely purchase this over and over again. So this is what both look like on my skin. They're both really hydrating, but I'm gonna go ahead and apply foundation and see how both of them hold up on my skin. So next I'm gonna set my skin with setting spray, and I've been loving this MAC Fix Plus Long Lasting Setting Spray. It literally helps to melt your makeup, and it's also a really good primer to apply before applying your foundation, but it's also a hydrating primer that you can apply before makeup, which is what I've been loving to do because it prevents your makeup from being patchy. But I figured a good dupe for this one is the Milani Make It Last Dewy Finish Setting Spray. I love this setting spray. It keeps your skin very much primed and it helps your makeup last longer. So it's good for before makeup and during your makeup application process and after your makeup. So I would say this one is a good dupe. I have used the Milani for a while and I've been using this MAC Fix Plus and I feel like they're very similar. So for foundation, I love this Bobbi Brown Skin Long Wear Weightless Foundation. It's a really nice full coverage foundation, but it's a long lasting foundation because it's oil free. So it really settles on your skin perfectly. It doesn't tend to move around and it lasts a really long time, but I figured a really good dupe for this is the Revlon ColorStay Foundation. I love this foundation. It's very similar to the Bobbi Brown. The Revlon foundation is also oil free. Both of these foundations I would say are really good for oily skin or combination skin. If your skin produces a lot of oils, you want to stick to using oil-free foundations, and these are perfect for that. So I'm going to go ahead and blend out this foundation, and I'm using this Nova Beauty sponge. I love this sponge because it's a latex-free sponge and it helps to seamlessly blend out your liquid or cream foundation products on your skin, and it really gives your skin a natural finish. So as you can see, this foundation does give full coverage. I have applied half a pump, I would say, because I still have a little bit more product on here, but I love the finish of this foundation. It's like a natural finish. It still looks really skin-like and it's really easy to blend on the skin, but once it settles on your skin for a few minutes, it literally dries down. Then I'm gonna go ahead and apply the Revlon one on this side. Now I do feel like the shades are a little bit different. However, I feel like the finish and the wear of the foundation is very similar. So I'm gonna use a clean side of the sponge and blend this out. And as you can see, this one also gives me full coverage and it's really easy to blend. It also settles almost the same on the skin. Like, they both look really luminous, but once it settles on your skin, it dries down matte. I love that because it makes it really easy to blend. So even if you have dry skin, this foundation will blend out seamlessly and naturally on your skin. I haven't really found a dupe for concealer because most concealers I've been using are drugstore concealers just because they've been working for me, but I really love this Kosas Revealer Concealer. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this to brighten up my under eye area. I really like this Kosas concealer because it's hydrating and it's very lightweight, so it doesn't crease under my eyes. And while I let this concealer sit and marinate on my skin, I'm gonna go in with contour. And for contour, I'm gonna use the NYX Wonder Sticks. This is a really good contour stick to help add back shadows onto my skin. I haven't found any dupes for a contour because I typically use almost the same thing for a contour, which is usually foundation stick. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use this to contour, and I like to apply it directly on the brush instead of directly on my skin because I feel like it gives me more of a softer and natural contour. And I'm gonna go ahead and apply this on my forehead area. And because this contour is very, very pigmented, I like to just apply a very small amount and build it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend out the concealer, and I'm using the same sponge by Nova Beauty. And I love that it's very sharp and angled, so it really helps to blend out your concealer, especially right on the inner corners. So I'm just gonna go ahead and contour my nose, and I'm using that NYX contour wand. So next is blush, and one of my favorite blushes is this Westman Atelier Baby Cheeks blush. This is the shade Pop It. So this is more of a cream blush. So I found a dupe, and I think it's the Milani Sweet Cheeks blush. So this is also a cream blush, but this one is in a pan and this one is a stick blush, but they're both cream blushes that I feel like are very similar. So this right here is the Westman Atelier blush. This one is the Milani. I feel like the pigmentation is almost similar. The shades are quite different, but one thing that I'm noticing is that the Westman cream blush is a little bit less oilier than the Milani one, which has a little bit more of a glow to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the Westman blush, and I'm using a clean blush brush. This one is by e.l.f. Cosmetics. It's a putty primer applicator blush, which I love using for blush instead. And I'm just gonna place it on the highest points of my cheekbones. These blushes are pigmented, so I usually like to build it up instead of going in with too much at once. And I also like bringing my blush like towards the inner portion of my under eyes. Then next I'm gonna go in with the Milani blush. Of course, I cleaned up my brush before dipping into the Milani one. This Milani one seems to be a little bit more pigmented, so you need to go in with a little bit less. So I'm gonna just go ahead and try to build it up instead of applying too much, because once you apply too much blush, it's hard for you to pick up the pigment and fix it. You just have to wipe it off and do it again. And I'm definitely noticing the Milani one is a little bit easier to blend because I did notice that it has a little bit more glow, so it probably has a little bit more oils than this one right here. This one seems to be more of a mattified cream blush, and this one seems to be more of a glowy blush. But honestly, the difference seems pretty similar. You don't even see the color difference on my skin. They both look like the same color, and they're also giving me the same finish, like more of that glowy type of finish. A very popular but expensive powder is this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless powder. So this is supposed to be setting your foundation, concealer, just any type of cream products on your skin to make it stay in place. But I love this powder. It's just so smoothing. It gives your skin a very flawless finish. But honestly, Charlotte Tilbury is very expensive, so I figured that a dupe for this is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop press powder. This is very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury because they're both very veil, very lightweight. They're not too full coverage, and the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop is a smoothing powder, so it gives your skin kind of like a filtered look. And this NYX powder is one of my favorites because it's really easy to apply on the skin. It gives your skin a very natural finish. So I'm gonna apply the Charlotte Tilbury one, but first I'm getting rid of all the creases under my eyes and picking up a little bit of that with a brush. I'm gonna go ahead and set that powder. And this powder is in the shade 3 Tan, which I feel like is perfect for my skin to set the concealer, not for my foundation. I also like applying this powder with a brush because it's a very fine powder, so it picks up really nicely with a brush. And as you can see, there's a big difference between my skin here and right here. Like, it sets the concealer super flawlessly. I also like to place this on my chin area as well. And basically all the places that I applied concealer to help calm down those oils, and then I just go over my eyebrows with it as well. So I'm gonna go in with the NYX powder on this side. Of course, I cleaned the brush. And I'm just gonna go ahead and press that under my eyes. This NYX powder is also a lightweight powder. It's natural on the skin. I do feel like this NYX one gives off a little bit more coverage, and it's a mattifying powder. So they're both lightweight powders, but I feel like this NYX one has a little bit more coverage, but the finish is very similar. It's almost the same. I do understand why it's priced a little bit higher, but if you're looking for something very similar, I would say this NYX one gets the job done, very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury one. So I just went ahead and did my eyebrows, and for eyebrows I always use the same product, and I also featured this eyebrow dupe in my last dupes video, so I didn't feel the need to actually talk about it. But I used the Anastasia brow pen in the shade Ebony, and this is a dupe for the Milani Weekend Brow. This one is in the shade Espresso. These are very similar. They're brown brow pens that are perfect for sculpting your eyebrows, and they just make it easy to do your eyebrows, and I love that they are really pigmented. So next we're gonna move on to eyeshadow. So I just went ahead and primed my eyes, and I used this Urban Decay eye primer that is perfect for getting pigmentation to show on your skin if you are applying any type of eyeshadow. And for today's eyeshadow, I'm gonna be using this Nova Beauty bronze palette. So the palette is a really highly pigmented formula. I love the textures of these eyeshadows. They're very smooth, they're very creamy, and they're blendable. As you can see, these shimmers are really gorgeous and super pigmented as well. This is a really nice neutral eye palette. It's perfect for everyday wear, so I'm gonna be using this eyeshadow palette to create my eyeshadow look. First eyeshadow I'm gonna pick up is this orange eyeshadow called Naranja, and using this shade I'm gonna place this right on my crease, and as you can see, the pigmentation is amazing. So I'm just blending this shade in circular motion and trying to diffuse the eyeshadow. And I like to also bring this outwards and inwards as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch up the brush that I'm using. So I'm using a smaller brush because it's more precise and it's going to allow me to get more of a precise application. Then I'm gonna pick up this brown shade called Frontin. Picking up the shade, I'm gonna place it right on my crease, and this is going to add dimension to the eyeshadow look. And I'm focusing first on the outer portion because this will form more of that smoky effect. Next, I'm gonna pick up this shade right here called Lit. And using that shade, I'm gonna place this right on my crease, and I'm using this flat brush to apply it because it's really precise and it allows the eyeshadow to be placed without moving around. And I'm also gonna bring this above my crease as well because I have smaller eyelids, so doing this really allows the eyeshadow to show more even after my eyes are open. As you can see, these eyeshadows are really blendable. I love this palette because it's perfect for like traveling. You can put this like in your travel bag. It's not like a glass where it's gonna break, and these are perfect eyeshadows to wear like every day if you want to keep it simple or you just want like a full glam. So I'm gonna go back in with that brown shade, and I'm just gonna blend these two together just so that you're not really seeing any harsh lines between the two eyeshadows. I like to do this just to make sure that everything looks well transitioned so that you don't really see like a line of demarcation on there. They also have gel eyeliners, so I'm gonna also be using some of these. These are a soft gel formula and they're really rich in pigment. I love to use these to line my upper lash line or sometimes even like my lower lash line just to add color instead of adding eyeshadow. They give you really high color payoff. They don't budge, transfer, or smudge, so they stay on your eyes for a really long time, which is why I love using them. They also come in different colors, so you can have like lighter ones if you want to apply them under your eyes just to open up your eyes more. And they also have darker shades if you want to close in your eyes and you want to apply them under your eyes. As you can see, these are really creamy. They give like such high color payoff. I'm gonna go in with this brown one right here to line my waterline, just to tie it in with this brown eyeshadow I placed on the outer corner of my eye. And I like to just tie this in with this brown eyeshadow. Even though I'm going in with eyeliner, I like to just do this to make sure that both of them meet together. Then I'm just gonna go in with the brush that I use for that brown eyeshadow and just smudge that and blend it out. You definitely want to smoke it out just so that it's not just standing there on its own and doesn't look blended. Alright, so now I'm gonna apply mascara, and I'm using this L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. I've been honestly really loving this mascara. It's just a really nice lengthening mascara. Sometimes I wear this mascara without any lashes because I feel like it really helps to lengthen my lashes. Then I'm gonna go in with these Kiss Wispy Lashes. I've been using these for the past couple weeks, and I honestly really like the lashes. They're really flattering on the eyes, and I feel like because I have smaller eyes, I think wispies are literally my favorite because they just allow my eyes to have a little bit of eyeshadow space so that you can be able to see the eyeshadow. So we're done with the eyes, and I just love how this turned out. I love this palette by Nova Beauty. It has been my go-to, and I love the eyeliners as well. They're just so creamy. You can just create so many different eye looks with these eyeliners. And I also want to give a huge thank you to Nova Beauty for partnering with me in this portion of today's video. I got this Charlotte Tilbury light wand, and this is supposed to be a little bit of a blush slash highlighter. It's supposed to give your skin glow. I've noticed that this looks more of a highlighter on me than a blush, but I really love the pigmentation and the color of the blush. So this is what it looks like. It's very, very bright. It's supposed to be applied on your cheeks for a blush, but I'm gonna place it as a highlighter. Now these are very, very pricey, just being that they're just blushes. I feel like their prices are just like very expensive. So I literally had to find a dupe for this because I love this product, but it is not something that I would say like it's necessarily something you should splurge on, because I feel like there's so many products that are very similar to these. And the one that I found is by Revolution. It is the Bright Light highlighter wand. So this one claims to be a highlighter wand, doesn't claim to be a blush. So I got this one in the shade Divine Dark Pink, which is very similar to this Charlotte Tilbury one. So I would say they're very similar in color. I would say that the Revolution one has a little bit of a cool undertone, and then the Charlotte Tilbury is more of a warm undertone. So just depending on your undertone, it depends on which shade that you want to get, but they do have multiple shades. So I'm going to go ahead and use this Revolution one, and I'm applying it directly on my skin, and then I'm going to use my finger to blend that into my skin. These are really, really nicely pigmented and blendable as well, so you can put them on top of powder, or you could just put them on your bare skin. But this is what this is looking like. This is giving more natural. It gives me more of a natural inner glow compared to the Charlotte Tilbury, which is a little bit more pigmented with that highlighter pigment, and it gives me more of a glow than this side, which I love both of them, honestly. Alright, so next is lip liner, and I love this Rare Beauty lip liner. This is in the shade Kind Words. This is like a perfect lip liner for deeper skin tones, and it's really, really pigmented and very velvety. It's easy to apply on your lips, and it lasts a long time. But if you're looking for more of an affordable lip liner that does the same thing, this Nova Beauty lip liner in the shade Brown 02 is literally almost the same thing. Like, they're literally the same color. The texture feels exactly the same, and the pigmentation is also the same. This one also lasts a really long time, so I also really love using this, and I definitely think this is a dupe for the Rare Beauty lip liners. I recently got this Clinique lipstick, which I heard it's a very natural, nice color. This is in the shade Black Honey, which is supposed to be like a purple shade, but it's supposed to be a very natural, everyday type of lipstick, very sheer, so it barely shows up on the skin, which I really love these types of lipsticks because they're very natural. You can do them with everyday makeup looks, and they go with any type of makeup look. So I heard that the e.l.f. is a dupe for it. So this is a hydrating lip shine, which honestly, they seem to have the same type of pigmentation. They're very veiled, but I think this e.l.f. one is a little bit more pigmented. The shade is different. I did get the wrong shade for the e.l.f. one. I was supposed to get one that's similar to this Black Honey color. The shade that I got for the e.l.f. one is called Delightful. So these two are different colors. The textures of the lipsticks feel exactly the same. So I'm gonna go in with the Clinique one on this side, and this is very, very hydrating. So it's kind of like a lip balm but with color. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this e.l.f. one on this side. Even though the colors are different, I really want to just feel how it feels on the lips. I would say the e.l.f. one feels a little bit thicker than the Clinique one. The Clinique one glides on a little smoother, but as far as what they look like, I feel like they both look very sheer, very shiny. So I would definitely say that they're dupes, but not 100%. But I'm just gonna go ahead and apply the Clinique one all over my lips because I feel like this color matches my eye makeup a little bit better. And lastly, I'm gonna seal all this makeup in place. So I'm gonna spray the same setting spray I used in the beginning, which is the MAC Fix-It setting spray on this side of my face. Then on this side of my face, I'm gonna go in with the Milani setting mist. But you also wanna learn how to create a flawless makeup base. And you should watch this video right here because this is a very detailed tutorial on how to create a flawless makeup base. Once again, thank you to Nova Beauty for partnering with me in today's video. Definitely check out their products in the description box down below. But other than that, I will see you guys in my next video.
KLJ, welcome to a channel where it's poppin'.